You're listening to Stories to Create with your host, Cornell Bunting. Author, motivational speaker, and founder of EHAS Each Episode. Cornell sits down with inspiring voices to uncover the stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. Get ready to listen, learn, and be inspired. The show starts now.
Yes, Cornell Bunting here with another episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at EHAS CLUB. I'm telling you guys, man, it's a whole lot been happening. And, I'm not even going to go into it too much. I just want to say to you guys, I'm grateful to all you guys that have been listening to the show, been sharing the show, getting me more downloads, more streams. I'm excited. Let's get to 10,000. We're about 200 away from 10,000. So listen, I'm excited and I appreciate all you guys out there, man. Yo, my boys in London, I'm coming. Don't worry. It's going to be all right. So today, of course, oh my goodness, guys, you have no idea how long this was supposed to happen. But this legend right here, he's a busy man. He's a busy man. And so, we had to wait until he was ready, until he had the time. So, I don't even need to go into a whole lot of who he is, what he does, because some would say Mr. GCL. For me, it's B. Frank, the man, the myth, the legend.
What's good? What's up? Hi, everyone. I'm Cornell Bunting. No, I'm joking. Nah, man. I'm glad to be here with you, twin. Yeah, B. Frank, Brian Frank. I'm glad to be here.
Man, listen, man. We're excited to have you in the building. And, it's been a minute. So just so you guys know, B. Frank was supposed to be here with Marco. That show you guys listen back. But, family man as well, So sometimes
I rock the shirt and everything.
Hey,
I don't know if you see this. I got my babies on my shirt.
Look at that right there.
You know what I'm saying? That handsome fellow with the glasses, that's me, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not the mailman.
Dude, that is pretty dope. Who made that?
Man, IG be popping, man. I got an ad on IG and my mother-in-law hooked it up and this was my Father's Day.
Look at that.
I was like, oh, look at my munchkins right here.
He's rocking it.
Yeah.
Family man to the fullest, people.
All the way, man.
Man, 100.
Yeah, that's my entourage. They here right now, man. You never know.
You know what, guys? They are here right now. They're hanging out with the engineers. So, and she's excited back there. So
yeah, so if everything starts shaking in the background, it's not nothing wrong with your phone or laptop. It's my kids shaking the earth with their presence. They're probably jumping off the roof or something, or starting bombs. I don't know, doing something crazy.
Something crazy. So for everyone that come on the show, we got to take her listeners back. Mm-hmm. We got to take her listeners back before B. Frank, before Mr. GCL, before the family man.
Before all that. So as far back as you can think, growing up. Here we go. West Philadelphia, born the playgrounds where I spent most of my days.
Okay.
No, I'm from West Philly.
You are?
I am from West Philly. I'm Fresh Prince of Cape Coral.
Oh, my goodness. This is amazing right here. So you literally got up from there at a young age and came to Florida.
Yeah, I came. I spent half my life, at this point, we would consider half my life in Philly, half my life in Lake County.
Oh, wow.
And, and it was the same. Crazy up in Philly and had to get away from that.
All right.
And being in Southwest Florida changed my life. I would like to say that.
So we gonna go to West Philly right now, man. So you went to middle school.
Yep. So I was in middle school, elementary, and all that.
Okay.
In Philadelphia. And,
I mean, what kind of kid was you, bro?
So the type of child I was, very talkative. So it was the basis to who I am right now.
Okay.
I can tell because of my daughter how aggravating that could possibly be, but exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I was the type of kid who I just had so much to say, and I wondered so much about everything.
Okay.
And I remember when we first got You remember AOL CDs?
Yeah.
We had the internet in the house.
Ooh.
We had AOL CDs. Yeah, pop them AOL CDs. And I'm in there, and I'm just, I was a kid that was in there just, it wasn't Google, it was Ask Jeeves and all that back then.
Yeah.
Right? So Yahoo and Ask Jeeves, and I would just, everything would just come to my head. I wonder what this means. And what is Mesopotamia? And what is this? And where do black holes come from? And I would go in there and take IQ tests. My mom thought I was insane.
Yeah.
Because I would just wonder about everything.
Right.
And Philly, a lot of my family from North Philly. Shout out to North Philly, 23rd and Diamond Street.
Okay.
We were outside babies.
Okay.
Everything was running around and bicycles and all of that. And most of the time, because there was nothing to do in the house.
Right.
But I loved both worlds. Like I could be by myself.
Yeah.
Completely content.
Yeah.
Or I can go outside and disappear for hours on end.
With the kids.
Yeah. And growing up back then, it was crazy. We didn't have much. And we were, Section 8 housing and food stamps. But our life was so full, Our life was so full of interactions, whether it was online or in person.
Yeah.
So online wasn't a dead place; it was exciting,
right?
And then in face to face, I had cousins and neighborhood and all that running around, getting into trouble.
Wow.
But I was never a bad kid. I don't think my bad boy age came out until I was a teenager.
So hold up. So you saying you never got in trouble in school?
As a youth, not really. Occasionally.
Okay.
All right, I guess you're pulling something out. You got me. I had to think deep. See, my mom gonna hop in the comments and question that.
Yeah.
Well, it was this, when I was younger. Going through a lot of changes. My parents get back and forth. A lot of people don't know. My father.
Yeah.
Recovered, and he talks about this. So it's a lot. I'm allowed to speak on him.
Oh yeah.
He was a recovering drug addiction.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And partying, and I saw my mom and dad clash a lot and back and forth. And my father actually got shot twice.
What?
Yeah, man. He died one time, and they had to massage his heart for him to come back alive. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So going through that at a young age, it kind of shook my personality to different areas.
Okay.
So there was points in time where I was a little more harder to deal with.
You was a rebel.
I was a little rebel, but even the rebel that I was in reference to what was going on around me wasn't like the worst in the world. It was just like I was a meddler,
Okay.
A little bit of a pyro, burn stuff, a little craziness. But off the record. I'm joking. I'm joking. But generally speaking, it was growing up. I had troubles with just focusing really, and I would always want to get into things. So that was the trouble I was doing when I was younger.
Okay.
For the most part, though, that's it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, I never did my homework. Yeah.
What you mean? You never did your homework?
I have survived 33 years of life without doing homework. And somehow I had all these awards and stuff. Kids, I am not telling you to do this. I have children myself. Some people, I don't know, by the skin of my teeth, made it by. Yeah. But I had SGA vice president and president of this and president of that. I was in all these things. Yeah. And your boy never did homework.
Wow.
I don't know. Because my thing was, even at a young age, was like, hey, I'm going to do whatever you want me to do while I'm here.
Right.
But when I leave here, I'm not thinking about this. I'm gone. I'm peace. The teacher say, yeah, Brian, we did it. And the thing is, sometimes I would do my homework. To be real, I would do it. Yeah. I would do it at school.
Right.
So, hey, if I do it before, I'll do it on the bus. Yeah. After school bus, before school, stuff like that. But when I'm home, I'm home. And the funny thing is, I'm like that as an adult. Yeah. Like when I leave spaces, I am no longer there. I don't remember what we talked about. There's a door. It's over.
You done. Wow. You shutting it down. You step off the school bus. That's it for school.
That's it for school. That's it for school. I don't even know y'all anymore. Yeah. It's a whole different thing.
So one of the reasons for the listeners, so would you say one of the reasons you guys left Philly as well, not just for you getting in trouble, but parents as well?
For my parents, we are generations deep into Philadelphia. It's a beautiful city. I love it. Right. But there's a lot of opportunity for distractions. Right. And then furthermore, if it's not the city of Philadelphia, it's the fact that sometimes when you grow up in a place, you become too acclimated to it.
Right.
You're too comfortable.
Right,
so it's hard to grow in a situation where everything is the same, at least in your eyes.
Right.
So what Southwest Florida gave us was a unique opportunity to experience a whole different type of life.
Right.
And even coming out, the strangest thing, and there's more important issues that are on the table.
Right.
But I remember just being in Southwest Florida and having people wave at you when you're driving in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
That was the strangest thing. I remember watching my dad get frustrated by it. Like, because you in Philly, you think it's a problem. So you're driving and people are like, hey, and you're just like, I don't know you. We had to kind of calm down and stuff like that. And, you know, and the people down here were so wonderful. We didn't have anything. And there's a church down here, a huge church, First Assembly.
Okay.
And I remember one time we had nothing in our pantry. We first moved down here.
Yeah.
And then without even asking them, the next day, the whole place is full. Bread and sweets and everything. So, yeah.
Man, they showered you guys wonderfully.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I mean, and I hadn't even had name brand, like, you know, certain cereals in a little while. And then they just hooked it up. I mean, that's not to say that we had nothing. We were blessed. My mom worked very hard. My father did too. Yeah. But just life, man. Life is so different when we moved down here.
Who discovered Southwest Florida?
So the funny thing is, my father decided to defeat his demons in that way. Okay. And he came down here and he joined a program called Teen Challenge. Okay. Which I always thought was funny because as teenagers, my father was obviously a very grown man at the time. And so what wound up happening, they had him go to a place in Sanford, Florida. Okay. He checked that out, and then he was at the location in Pine Manor. Okay. And Fort Myers. Okay. And he was here. And everything that led us to be here was blessing on top of blessing on top of blessing. Okay. Because he was at Teen Challenge. Yeah. Becoming the man he is today. Right. And then someone saw him and wanted him to work at the Juvenile Detention Center. Yeah. And even though he didn't have all his stuff together, they said, we're going to make that happen. We're going to make you, because we think that your story and your mental would work well with these young men at the Juvenile Detention Center. Right. So they they made that happen. He wasn't even supposed to be in there. Yeah. So once he got the job, obviously he's not going to be in Philadelphia anymore. Right. And so he flew the family down, and he flew us down, and the rest is history.
That's beautiful, man. That is amazing. So you came, now you got to adjust to a new environment. Mm-hmm. School, what was that like, bro?
School was it was so strange for me. I was in middle school when this all happened, and we, in Philly, it was very multicultural. Right. Very multicultural. And in West Philly, we had Asian Americans, a lot of Italian Americans for the one school that I went to. Right. Did I tell you I went to a magnet school, right?
No, I didn't know.
It was a gifted school. So that's my flex. It was a gifted school. Okay. You had to be smart, and you had to know how to sing or play an instrument. Wow. I got in by singing.
What?
So I used to be a singer. There's no more. Whoa. That's gone.
What happened?
But I got it. Yeah, man, puberty. Yeah, I don't want to tell you, puberty. But I was a singer. Yeah. And in Philly, the school that I went to right before I moved down here was in South Philly, and you had to sing or have really, really good grades. Again, I did not do homework, but somehow I got in it because these are all blessings. Right. God has dragged me through life. It ain't me. Yeah. God is just like, come on, Brian. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. And I get into this school, and the crazy thing is, I start to lose my ability to sing as I start to go to puberty. But I was already in, so they couldn't say nothing. Right, that was really cool. But anyway, so we moved down here. I go from a school where, we were learning things. I didn't know this, but we were learning things like 3 years ahead. Oh. So when I moved down here, everything was like, I learned that in 6th grade already. Like, why are we even? Why are you doing it? Yeah. Why are we doing this? And then in addition to that, the school that I went to, we lived by Edison Mall at the time. Okay. And because of something called school choice at the time, they bused us to Bonita Springs. Okay. So my school was in Bonita Springs. I lived near Edison Mall. That was it was an hour bus ride. Yeah. Culturally speaking, I've never been in a school that was like, that felt that it wasn't a very good mix of different ethnicities. So I went to Bonita Springs. There was a lot of Latin Americans, and that was my first time experiencing, and specifically Mexican Americans. Right. And it was cool. It was dope because that experience got me like so tapped in that like that's my peoples now. That's my peoples. Yeah. And people from islands and Haitian Americans, Jamaican Americans, and they were all there. And I'm like, man, I don't really, I've never been, I've never been, in that predicament where I get to learn that much about you guys.
Right.
And I want to meet my best friend, Marco, business partner, there. And yeah, man, Bonita Springs, Fort Myers, high school, Ida Baker High School. It was so different. It was so different.
So because you was already in the choir stuff, the singing stuff, you never got into sports.
So the funny thing was is that I always wanted to be an athlete, but I couldn't pull it off initially because I had a problem. Like my lungs would be on fire. It would be burning and stuff like that. At any rate, it was going through puberty and going through those changes.
Right.
It just went away, which was weird. And I don't know what that is. Somebody will tell me on a research paper later. But when I got to around 15, I started looking into football.
Okay.
I got into football.
You did.
And I went all in.
Wow.
I went all in. Football was my thing. I did a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of track.
Whoa.
But I did both of those to make me a better football player.
Right.
Wrestling was actually fun. If I can go back in time, I would put more into wrestling.
Was you winning some games?
Oh man, I was for football. No, we were trash. We were getting whooped all the time. We was constantly getting whooped. It was the worst. It was worse. But hey, class of 2008, Ida Baker. Y'all know what it was. We was getting whooped.
You guys are struggling.
Struggling would be a nice word to put. Struggling was nice. Struggling was nice. Listen, I don't know. I feel this program is international. So let me put it this way. So in American football, typically the score is like 23-14, 24, something like that. We actually lost a game one time, 70 to 7. That happened in real life.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every young person carries a story of hope, of struggle, of dreams waiting to rise. But in too many underserved communities, those stories go unheard.
At ease Inc. Everyone has a story. We believe every voice deserves a chance. Through mentorship, empowering programs, and storytelling workshops, we help you discover their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and build a future they can be proud of.
From classrooms in Jamaica to communities across Southwest Florida,
EHAS is changing lives,
one story at a time.
but we can't do it alone. Join us, become a mentor, volunteer, donate, help us fuel the next generation of leaders, creators, and change makers.
Visit EHAS.org today, because when you help a young person share their story, you help them change their world.
They showed you guys. They just showed you some sympathy. They said, "You know what? Have a touchdown."
Give him a touchdown. Give him a touchdown. Man, listen.
That's brutal.
Yeah, we got our tails handed to us. But
How
the takeaway from it
Yeah.
was that so I started football when I was like 14, 15, my sophomore year. I did not get a varsity win until I was a senior. So from sophomore year to senior year, I did not know what it felt like to win at a varsity football game. I played a little bit of JV. I don't like to brag about that. We won those games, but that's not those are wins I'm not proud of. It was JV.
Right.
But at any rate, so we finally get to our senior year and we win. And but as an adult, I think it's so funny because I did not quit.
Right.
Like a lot of guys quit.
A lot of guys.
When you get your tail handed to you, you go, I'm going home. And a lot of things break down. But it was weird.
Yeah.
The harder it got, the more I doubled down.
Wow.
So the uglier it got, the more I was like, I'm going to get a win. Like it's going to, I don't care how long it takes. We're going to get a W. We're going to have a winning season.
Yeah.
And my senior year was the first winning season that my high school experienced.
That's awesome.
And I appreciate the guys who went through with me. Because some of those guys, a lot of people quit. They couldn't take that many L's in a row. You keep getting handed L's. Here's an L. Here's an L.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was the coach would say, bro, after, like, you guys keep...
Okay, so we had actually two of some of the most amazing coaches in Southwest Florida, and Coach Brian Kahn, who is now retired, and Coach Dwayne Mack, who is now the assistant principal, I believe, at North Fort Myers High School.
Okay.
And Coach Mack, man, both of them, they instilled so much into me that made me the man I am today.
Right.
They were just a blessing. And when we were we was handing L's, they told us straight up. They told us, hey, we're in these games to win.
Yeah.
Y'all not winning.
Yeah.
These are the things we need to do to win.
Right.
When there was appropriate times to say, don't beat yourself up,
it
was appropriate. And when there was times where you could have won that game and you didn't, they told us that as well.
Okay.
They didn't give us no, this, in one way, I can frame excuses. We can say, for example, one of the reasons why we were losing so much was that we were a brand new school.
Okay.
And when we were losing as sophomores, we barely had any seniors. So we were a bunch of, there was a point in time where my football team was predominantly 16, 15-year-olds on varsity playing against 18-year-olds.
Wow.
So we were all underage at certain points, and then and we were all coming to, that point.
Right.
That's one way to put it.
Right.
And another way to put it, hey, it's still man versus man. 16 or 18. Hey, you got to win. No matter, frame it how you want to.
Right.
You know what it is. You know the game. You put the pads on.
Right.
So it was a good experience, man. It helped me so much.
It
helped me so much. It's the reason why, even for the things that I'm doing today, everything that I do today, you can ask me how long I've been doing it.
Right.
And it's all going to be, I've been doing this a decade. Or I've known my wife since I was this. And all these things. It's time.
Yeah.
Time for me. I don't get afraid of putting in work.
Right. So you did you do college?
So college, I did a little bit of college. So this is where I'm at. I'm in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I go from the nerdy or inquisitive kid to the type of person who now into girls, and I'm doing all that. I'm football playing. I got distracted. That was my black. I had an era where I was like in a black hole.
Okay.
And that's when I was acting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
And in that era, in high school, going into college, I had no focus. My parents actually divorced during that time.
Oh, okay.
So we're going through divorces in the family. Everything's up in the air. I'm a super hyped up young man with not a lot of good young men role models around me. That's why I think it's important for you, brothers like yourself and myself to tap into these teenagers.
Definitely.
Because I would have probably avoided a lot of bad things if I had somebody that was close, who can speak to me on the level. They don't necessarily have to be teenagers, but someone who know how to talk to a teenager and tell me this, that, and the third. Well, it was time for college. I got all these offers, mostly smaller schools, but a couple of D1s.
Right.
And I just wasn't focused. I wasn't doing anything I had to do, nothing the right way.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, it was handed to me.
Okay.
My coach made this great video. Y'all can look online, Brian Franklin, football player.
Yeah.
Cable Core, you can watch my highlight video. It was fire. I had promise. Although I don't have the athletic ability as others. I worked hard.
Right.
And I get to college. I don't put none of the paperwork in time. I don't set up the classes the right way. I'm literally having people drive me to go there, and I just wasn't taking care of business.
You wasn't structured.
I wasn't structured. I was lost. And plus I missed Southwest Florida.
Right.
And I wanted to be with my friends.
Right,
and instead of being focused on my future, I was focused on I had a little girlfriend that was back here.
Okay.
So I'm up there, no girlfriend, no friends.
Yeah.
And I was up there, I mean North Carolina. I was in North Carolina.
Okay.
And Fayetteville, North Carolina. And when I look back, that was like probably the best place for me to be in the country.
Yeah.
As far as academics, the future, and support.
Right.
At any rate, I wound up coming back to Southwest Florida, kind of lost.
So you quit college.
I quit college. I quit.
Wow.
I at the time I didn't call it quitting college because what I said was, I'm gonna go back and go to Edison. At the time,
okay.
and now you guys know it as Florida Southwestern, but it was Edison.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to go to Edison and I'm going to transfer to do this. And then I'm going to walk on at this college. And I had these plans, but it was all mouth plans. It was my heart didn't say it. It was just things I would tell people to get them to calm down about what I was doing. Like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this and this. And I think someone at that time should have asked me the challenging question is like the follow-up.
Right.
It's easy for someone to say, oh, I'm going to go to, if you're going overseas, if you're going to, Jamaica, it's easy for you to say, oh, I'm going to Jamaica. Yeah. And then someone not ask any questions. Someone should go, well, where are you going to stay?
Right.
What are you, when is the ticket? When's the plane? So no one at that time, because so much was going on, no one was asking me follow-up questions like, well, how are you going to apply for this? How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to get to school? It was just more like, okay, he got it.
Yeah. Legitimate questions.
Wow.
Holding you accountable.
There was the accountability was hard because of the circumstances everybody was going through.
Right.
And it was hard for them. And I think that, not to paint myself, I think everyone feels like they're a good person, but I try to be a good man, a good person. Right. But I think at that time I took advantage of, being 18, 19 years old. I wasn't going, I'm going to take advantage of everybody. It's just that I was saying things and they were okay with it.
Right.
And I just kept it moving. And there has to be some accountability for our young people when they're around that age.
Right.
Boom. So that was that. I came back from North Carolina with no degree, no classes underneath my belt, trying to figure out what I was going to do next.
Right. Wow. So, because, you're a dad, you're a family man. Did that happen before you catch focus? Like where you had your first child or?
I'm back in Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. This is like me at 20-ish years old.
Yeah.
And I'm going through processes. I actually spent some time in Tampa. I didn't come straight. I came back and then went to Tampa for a little while.
Yeah.
Lived there. I had a girlfriend, did that whole thing, young and in love, was not in love. Come to find out, I had to figure that out fast. And wasn't super focused. Okay. But I knew that I was unhappy. I felt unfulfilled with my life.
Right.
At that time, because I knew that my upside potential was much higher than my circumstances.
Right.
And I moved back to Cape Coral from Tampa. This is like 21 years old, 22.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was working at Five Guys.
Mm-hmm.
I was a manager at Five Guys. I liked Five Guys. I still like them to this day, as far as a great experience as far as employees concerned. Going to college a little bit, taking classes, FSW, just to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't focused. What started my process for focusing was GCL.
Okay.
So around 21, 22 years old, I knew that I wasn't a partier, and I wanted something different to do in the area.
Right.
I experienced some of this poetry scene in Tampa when I was up there for a while.
Okay.
Plus, I'm from Philly. There's a lot of soulful, Jill Scott and stuff like that, the Roots and stuff. So I decided to create a poetry scene in Southwest Florida. And I tried it out by myself. The first time it happened, the fact that I got a restaurant to agree to allow me to take over their restaurant on a Wednesday night, and I didn't even know them.
Yeah.
Like I just walked in, hey, I want to do a thing. Do you mind? I have no proof that it will work, but boom. And they allowed me to do it. And I brought all of 6 people. 6 people came. 6 people came. And then my brother, best friend Marco, I partnered with him and another gentleman around that time. Yeah. And we did the second one together, all 3 of us together. And we had 60 people there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the restaurant let me come back. That was crazy. They basically shut down their business for me to bring 6 people. Shout out to Chef Jay.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he was a teacher at Cape Coral High School.
Okay.
And he owned a restaurant. Jamaican brother.
Wagwan, man.
Yeah. And he, I found out that part of the reason why he had a heart for allowing us to do this in his business was because he had a heart for young people.
Okay.
But I didn't even know that was him or anything about him at that time.
Oh, okay.
But at any rate, and GCL and throwing events made me to begin my focusing on things. You got to dial in to give somebody a good experience.
You do, man. You do. And I mean, you guys do a great job with that. I've gotten a chance to experience what that's like. But before we dive more into GCL, so did parenting happen after GCL was established?
So my first baby is GCL.
Uh-huh.
So my first baby is GCL. So we've been doing GCL 11 years. My oldest is 9.
Okay.
Now, so my wife and I, we were dating at the time, and we went through things that most couples go through when babies and stuff like that.
Right.
So that we experienced that, and that was hard. That was hard because I didn't know, and can I say it?
Oh, definitely.
So miscarriages.
Yeah.
I don't want to trigger anybody.
Right.
But we went through miscarriages when we were in our early 20s, and I remember because no one had told me that happens.
Right.
It wrecked me. I didn't know how regular, whether I knew that or not, it was going to wreck me. But it hurt because I had no information that was such a common thing. So we go through these processes a couple times, and like boom, and but GCL and my wife's been in my life since I was in high school, but it was like back and forth. It wasn't, our love story didn't start off with a flower, we're going to be married forever. It was a lot of, hey, we're together, we're together or not.
Yeah.
But around that era when, 21, 22 years old,
mm-hmm.
I got very serious about her as well.
Okay.
Like I'm 21. I knew I was going to marry her.
Okay.
I was already like, you're the woman I'm not looking. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
And so that for me, that was a beautiful thing to have her
man.
and GCL kind of come into a focus for me at the same time.
Right.
And it's not just GCL, it was just community work.
Right.
I knew if you don't mind taking a step back, my father has been a DJ since like 1985.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
And I saw him do block parties, and I've seen him do all these events up north.
Right.
And when he got saved and he moved down here, he gave his life to Christ, gave up his addiction. He started to do events for like outreach for young people.
Okay.
So I'm with him. I'm following him. I'm seeing how he works the room and how people are coming to Christ and how he's talking to the donors and the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of getting built in me at the whole time.
Right.
And then when I started doing GCL, it came out of me like, hey, I want to do things like my dad, but in my own way. It wasn't intentional, but it happened that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give back to my community. I want to see people laugh. I love seeing people just be in their authentic, happy real self. You just get it. That's my thing. Like, oh man, look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. Like, I'm excited at that. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And GCL is a vehicle for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, man, that is amazing, man. So you got GCL going, the network connection part of it started to make sense for you guys.
Yeah.
Because it's just you and Marco now. So that third person just kind of.
Yeah. So the third person, as far as that part of the story, for me, a lot of times we all have gifts and we have things we need to work on. So for me, I'm an idea guy.
Right.
That's my art form. Right.
But
as far as being able to facilitate these events and be like more managerial, that was Marco and a brother named Jose.
Right.
And Jose is cool, man. I have no problem or anything like that. But that relationship phased out.
Right.
When that first happened, it was hard because in my mind, I was like, how are we going to do this without him?
Yeah.
Yeah. But God provides.
Oh yeah.
And furthermore, there was only a small period of time where it was literally only Marco and I.
Right.
There has always been other tiers to the GCL team.
Right.
So now, at its core, we have, about 7 of us.
Right.
You just may see Marco and I more.
Right.
So I always try to give people the perspective that, when you're starting a movement or a business, not everybody's going to be in that inner circle.
Right.
You respect what a person can do and will do for the joint mission.
Right.
So I have some people, like for example, I consider my wife part of GCL.
Right.
Because occasionally when you come to our shows, who's the one welcoming you into the show?
That's true.
My wife is the person holding down the table.
Yeah.
So do you do it by yourself? No.
Yeah.
Is it just you and Marco?
Right.
There was literally a point in time where it was only he and I.
Yeah.
But other times we've had some of the most amazing people I've ever met.
Yes.
Have their seasons with us.
Yeah, man. And you guys have established yourself now where you have a lot of different creative artists that now know of what you guys are doing, want to get in that space.
Yeah, it's weird. We went from, can you please come out?
Yeah.
for certain eras. Not in the beginning. It was in the beginning. Yeah, man, exactly. Ding. It was in the era. In the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning of GCL, many people wanted to be a part of what we were doing.
Okay.
But didn't know of it.
Okay.
And then the floodgates came in, and then we had a season, our own fall. We had a fall or winter where things were getting kind of tight, and and we had to push through, and we had to ask, "Can you be a part of our platform?" I'm sure if you search somewhere in your text messages a while back, there was a "Can you pull up?" text message. Like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? What do you mean tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow or later today. Can you come out and speak? And we were in that era, and we muscled through, and now we're back to the point where there's too many people. I don't know what to do, and I love them all. And I love them all. I'm like, I don't know. I only have a certain amount of space for each event that we do, so I can't.
Yeah. I like that, man. And the relationship you have with Marco, man, it's a beautiful thing in itself. And for people that are out here, see what that looks like. For the listeners that are listening, though, tap into that a little bit.
Yeah, so we obviously, like I said, he and I go back a long way. I've known him since I was 14 years old. He's been one of my core friends since I was 14, 15 years old. And we've gone through different eras. There was actually points where I hadn't seen him in, a couple of years. He was going through some of the hardest moments of his life, and we weren't even near each other. Same thing with me. Our eras were similar. And we were off in our own little groups, so we always had love for each other. So when I saw him, it was all in. It was never like, where you been? It's like, yo, give me a hug.
Yeah.
And we kept that going, and we respect each other tremendously. We're honest with each other. So it is good to be around people that my stage name is B. Frank.
B. Frank.
So I speak to him in a way that sometimes I can't speak to everyone that same way. I speak to him with love and with more respect than, I can eat, like tons of respect. But directly. And then he says the same thing back with me, and we understand each other. We are not always happy with each other. You know what I mean? As partners, as business partners and friends,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Very, frustration, disappointment, anger. Those things happen. But we also have great moments together, and we appreciate those. And then we try to create lines when we can between, hey, like literally, I will say, hey, I'm talking to you as a friend. This is your friend talking to you. On the other side, hey, as your partner, as your business partner, this, and this. And I can switch those hats. And we can create those lines,
That's beautiful.
So we stay tapped in. And I think in any business relationship, I just want to know, for me, anything I do, projects or business, I just want to know what a person wants. I want to know and don't tell me you want this when really you want that. I want to know what your end goal is. With Marco and I, we understand each other's end goals so well that everything else in between makes sense. So if something happens, you go, okay, that adds up because that's who he is. That's what he's trying to accomplish. Okay, boom. There's no argument. The misunderstandings come from if I tell you, if I come to you and say, hey, I'll help you move because, hey, we're just good friends. I'm going to help you move. Help you move your house. And then get there and go, well, it'd be nice if you give me a couple bucks. You're like, well, that's not what you said. That's not the relationship. Like, boom. Now, should I have offered? Yeah, we should offer you, boom, in good faith. But our deliverables and expectations are on point. We deliver what is always matched. You don't find that often in today's time.
That's very true, man. What would you say, man? Because you have a lot of younger artists, that are coming up right now that's still trying to understand the game and get in you guys' space, but still trying to find themselves, man. For them that are listening, what would you say to them, bro?
Well, there's a couple of things that's happening. One, as an artist, you're also an entrepreneur. So remember that you're an entrepreneur. Remember it's a business, it's the art business. And if you are not business, find someone who is business. Find the puffy to your biggie. Okay, if you can't, and preferably be that all encompassing. Self-reliant. But if not, find it. And be good at finding it because you may have to find it several times in your life. Hey, for different eras. As far as connecting with GCL or doing any platform, I think it's important to create your own tribe. Find the people, your market. We could call it tribe if we're talking art. But if we're talking business, find your market. Find your key demographic. and build that up, show them love, show loyalty to them, and receive loyalty from them.
Right.
When joining any other platforms, you know, we look at your skill. Can you do something well?
Right.
But we also look, what crowd do you bring to the table?
Right.
So if you are dope in what you do, but no one knows, and you go to an organization and say, hey, I want you to be the reason why everyone knows that I'm dope. That can happen. And it does happen.
Right.
But statistically speaking, you have a much better chance if you go, not only am I dope, but here's all the people behind me that also know that I'm dope.
Right.
I'm bringing a small army with me.
Right.
How about your army comes with my army and we take everything down?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I ask for artists to think three-dimensionally when it comes to the art form.
Right.
If you're out here painting, if you're a visual artist, we're not just talking about farmers. If you're a visual artist and you do paintings and your mom knows that they're wonderful,
right,
but not even your neighbor knows. Like no one knows that you do that, but your mom.
Yeah.
And then you come in, hey, let's get it out. Let's be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Yes.
You know, boom. So
Bring
then
awareness.
Be awareness. And if you're a performing artist, the same thing. I release my music.
Right.
And it's not about the world loving your music, but hey, I'm promoting it. I'm putting money behind it. I'm boosting the posts, paid ads. I'm showing up to all these open mics. I'm not afraid to rap right now.
Right.
Every great MC or singer has had a moment where they were on a radio station somewhere, and then a person go, "Could you sing right now?"
Yeah.
And right now. And they go, right now.
Right now. You got to be ready.
My name is Brian Franklin.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go, you're going to know three things. One, that I'm a father and husband together.
Yes.
One, that I host and create a GCL. And one, that I own an insurance company.
Yes.
I'm going to name drop those. You're not going to leave it in spirit.
Right.
Because that's my thing. Well, if you're a musician, everywhere I go, boom, everywhere you go, I'm an author, motivational speaker, world changer, CEO, and director, all that.
Yep. I like that, man. And now with everything that's unfolding, because and this I didn't know if I wanted to touch on it or not. Because inclusion is a big thing now, and the way a lot of things are worded now. When it comes to you guys on the stage, having people go on the stage, you guys ever fear someone's going to go up there and just say a bunch of stuff that's going to go out of context on people?
We have.
Yeah.
We have. So we already got that out the way.
Yeah.
So that's good for us, I guess.
Yeah.
But so there's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
Some people will try to determine and take the steering wheel of a situation and hijack it and make the time and the place be what they want.
Right.
It's almost like Mother Nature. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
But it's in their right to try to make it happen. It's my right to stop it. It's just what it is.
Right.
With that being said, we have multiple events that we do, but the one that we're most known for is called Art and Poetry Networking event at the Sidney Byrne Davis Center, downtown Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And for that particular event, we create the environment where you shouldn't want to just go on stage and do anything. It would be uncomfortable.
Right.
Because we set the standard, the feel.
Right.
And it's kind of like one of the lessons I learned from my mother. Like, people will only come in your house and do what they want if you allow them. Right. So you got to set the standard. If you come into my house for the very first time and I say, take your shoes off, right then and there, I've set a standard. In psychology, your brain is already like, oh, they like that.
Right.
So you're not going to just flop on my couch. You may sit down slowly. You may do that.
Right.
But if you come in and I say, don't take your shoes off. Yeah, just go ahead. You go open the refrigerator. You get so comfortable, you do whatever you want.
Right.
Now, if I get upset afterwards, it's like, no, you didn't set the standard.
No, you didn't set
to bring that back at Art and Poetry and at our events, we want the standard to meet the atmosphere. Right. And more importantly, we want the standard to meet where we're going with the atmosphere. Right. So when you take our stage for that particular event, I need you to be tapped in and serious because we're trying to create something massive, not local, not even regional. We're trying to do something national. Right. Our goal is to make it so that people in Washington, in California, and New York fly down. Right. To be there. Right. Yeah. Now, it is sometimes hard to convey that. I have a hard time conveying that. I've been having a difficult time in this era conveying that to artists without being discouraging. Right. Because you never know who that talent might be. Right. But, we just try to set the atmosphere. There was a time where people, when we first started doing our shows, we would wear suits. Right. We were wearing suits and ties and stuff. Stuff like that.
Right.
And it stopped people from coming in flip-flops.
Right.
Because they would walk in and see us in suits. They would see Marco and I in suits. And we had vests on and collared shirts and all these things.
Yeah.
And people would come in T-shirts and flip-flops and go, oh, this is not the place for that.
Right.
And then next time they came,
they were good.
They were good.
Yeah. I like that, man. And the environment, because you got a plethora of individuals that have just skills in different areas, whether it's camera people, photo people, that come together to bring that to life, man. Do you ever get a chance to do a big powwow with those people and what that could look like, how you could create something different from the previous?
Yeah, so we've had team meetings where the people, our current members and my current inner circle, we've met and discussed concepts. It's hard to get the locomotive running.
Right.
Right. With that being said, where we are now is we've come a long way.
Yeah.
We've come a long way. The production of our shows and how we move, to the point where, the audience feels it. Excuse me. Yeah. The audience feels it. But our peers, even people who throw events themselves, go, wow, I love the way that you guys handle these events with the camera work and all of that. So I think I'm proud of where our team has come.
Beautiful.
But there's still a lot of upside. We have so much left on the table. Right. And I try to tell people, most of the time when people give us advice for the events or, out of love, I say, oh, I got that written down already in the notebook. You're not even giving me new game. Right. This is a concept I thought before the technology was invented sometimes. We were doing, before there was live videos and there was stories and TikToks.
Right.
And this is like 2014. Most of the time when you go to an event, there was a paid photographer and then they would try to upload them and get them online within the next day or so.
Yeah.
So then what we were doing is we would have someone walk around and we were calling it live photos.
Right.
And one of my team members would have my phone or Marco's phone and take pictures at the show and then post them on the event page as the show was going on.
Right,
so people would see.
Yeah.
And I was telling people, I was like, we were trying to make sure that people who were at home and not sure whether they should come out would see that we were having a good time and that there was already a ton of people there and they were going to miss out, right?
And they can pull up,
So to take back to what you asked, there are many concepts that we have implemented and would like to implement, but they all come in due time.
Okay.
And most of the time, now I'm trying to change my mentality to go, when someone suggests something to me, I go, that's a really great idea. Would you help us do that?
Yeah, I like
and then that's always, so, because before I had to mature to that point. Before it was like, I know that already. Yeah. And people don't want to hear that.
Right.
You tell me something, I go, I know that already. Yeah. So now it's going from that to, wow, would you like to create that? Right. And boom, 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 and let's manage and see how we can work that out.
Yeah,
and like how you can get something from it as well as us.
Right.
And half the people on our team are versions of that playing out. Someone going, hey man, I think you guys should record the show.
Yeah.
Would you like to be our videographer?
Right.
Boom. Or hey, I've seen you guys online. I think your social media presence could use this and this.
Right.
Great. Would you like to be the person that do that?
Right. And then boom. Right. I like that, man. How is the relationship with your parents?
So my relationship with my parents is great. I'd like it to be better. I think to myself that my parents did everything they can do with everything that they have.
Right.
So I have no regrets on the way I grew up, for the good and the bad. There's so many things that I wish hadn't happened, but it is what it is.
Right.
But I'm super proud of the things that they accomplished with the tools they had.
Right.
I speak to them at least once or twice a week. My father FaceTimes me all the time.
Okay.
He's always FaceTiming me from Philly. He's always putting random celebrities and strangers.
Okay.
Sometimes celebrities, like he'll be like, hey man, here's Bernard Hopkins, random boxer.
Wow,
And he's like, yeah, he's in Philly showing me whatever, or family members. And my mother is awesome. She still works at the Juvenile Detention Center, public speaker. So I'm working on that. It's interesting as we get older, man, trying to figure out. I'm a dad now, and I'm a husband, and I'm a son, but I'm an adult son.
Yeah.
And I'm managing like 100 hats at one time.
Man.
I wish I was a better son. I want to be a better son.
Yeah.
I want to do a better job at that.
Right.
But I haven't figured it out yet. So if you got advice for that, let me know. But I want to be a better son. But there's a lot going on.
I like that. Now, what does it look like with the siblings?
So with my siblings, I have quite a few. I have quite a few siblings. I have a pretty good relationship with my siblings. You know, give or take. I have a brother that plays for the NFL. I think I told you that. I have a brother. He plays for the Colts.
Okay.
I have a sister in Philadelphia. She just had a baby. So now I'm an uncle. Yeah. Once again, I have 3 sisters that are down. 2 sisters down here and a brother, and another one in Philly actually. So it's quite a few of us.
Okay.
I feel as though everyone in my life knows I love them.
Right.
I guess the issue that I would have as a son and as a brother is that I don't communicate enough. I don't do enough like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
So I just the things that I have going on in my life has me so tapped in.
Right.
And just trying to manage all of it that I wish I'll add that to the list. I wish I was a better brother as much as a son. That part of my life, I do have, I wouldn't say regrets, but I just want to improve. I'm like, man, I really, I want to be able to do better with that. And it's as simple as just, hey, how was your day? You know, stuff like that. Yeah, but I get involved. I get involved with stuff.
You do get involved, man. And you do have a lot of different, not just GCL, because you work outside of those realms as well, what you have already created, but you're helping other organizations with what they're creating and what that looks like.
I find myself being involved in so many different ways, sometimes as an advisor, a secret advisor. There's events that you guys have been around that I helped or facilitated that no one knows, on the back end, and I won't bring them up because that's the relationship. Right. And then there's other situations where I've been on the front and all of that, and I think my heart is for the community. I'm just putting in work. I don't know. You are. I don't know how to put it, and honestly, that's actually my art. Like that's my. We all have a thing that we have to get out. Yeah. So in some ways it manifests as, okay, you're Picasso, right? In some ways it manifests that you're an elite boxer. Right. Okay, what I do in the community. Yeah. And that's like if I didn't do that, okay, COVID era. Right. That hurt me. Yeah. I didn't realize how much it mattered. It took COVID and to be, stay at home or whatever we were doing at that period. Right. It took that for me to know how important it was. Yeah. For me to be around great people doing great things. I needed to be around you, Cornell. I was like, man, I need more.
Listen, man, and it's always been awesome being around you, bro, and what you're doing and stuff. So for the listeners right now that definitely kind of have a better idea who B. Frank is, when they want to tap in, how can they tap in to B. Frank?
Well, I have bfranksolutions.com. I have bfranksolutions@gmail.com. That's Brian. It's going to have insurance related stuff because I am an insurance agent. I want to tap that in. Life insurance, health, Medicare. I'm the greatest of all time.
There you go. That's it.
At least for communication and for that, if you want to know how it works. Right. So that's me personally, myself. If you're interested just in the art side of things and you want to connect with me and Marco, it's going to be GCL. Yeah. Golf Coast Leisure. Yeah. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, and you would have it. My phone number is so out there. Yeah. Like, you should, if I'm the most reachable person in the world.
I love it.
So you can always call, text, DM, whatever means you need to do to get a message across from me. And if I can, I will.
Yes. And I agree with that, people. So there you have it, guys. Another story was created, and it was created by my man himself, Mr. B. Frank, who's doing it out here in Southwest Florida. Hey, man, appreciate you for coming on the show, bro.
Thank you for having me. I am so blessed to be part of your story.
Yo, man, this is so dope.
We're telling a story in a story.
Yes, sir. We are in a story.
We are in a story.
So this is beautiful, man. What's coming next? What's
we
next?
Actually, for listeners, depending on what time you catch this, August 13th.
Okay.
August 13th, we're having an event called Sancocho Sunday.
Ooh, Sancocho Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to have 11-piece salsa band.
Beautiful.
Buffet. Okay. We have a DJ, live performance. It's a brunch. Yeah. In the Sidney Byrne Davis Center. Okay. Come by, stay cool, because y'all know it's hot outside.
Yep.
All right. Come by. It's a 5-hour event. You don't have to be there the whole time. Come and go as you please. Yeah. Reserve a seat. Right. Guarantee good time.
Beautiful.
Guarantee good time.
Well, listen, there you have it, guys. the man himself. It's a beautiful thing. Listen, until our next episode, where we'll have another great individual telling a story, creating a story, right here in EHAS Club.
Thanks for tuning in and downloading this episode of Stories to Create. We appreciate you being part of this growing community of storytellers and listeners. If today's conversation inspired you, please share the show with friends, family, or anyone who could use a little motivation in their journey. A special thank you to our sponsors, EHAS Organization, Cornell Bunting LLC, and Nostril Cheese Chase for supporting the mission and making this podcast possible. To learn more about our work, upcoming projects, and how you can get involved, be sure to visit www.cornellbunting.com. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story has power.